All right, I think that we're live. Hey everyone, hello. Welcome to the Teach Entrepreneur interview this month in January 2023, the first interview we have in 2023. So just before we get started, I want to just check on the technical side of things, make sure we are live on different platforms. If you are watching us right now, please comment to let us know if you can hear us and seeing us okay on the platform you are on right now. We're broadcasting the interview to LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube simultaneously. So if you are watching the interview right now, please comment to let us know. So let me see here. Hey, yeah, I'm seeing some comments already. Jason, yes, watching from Facebook. Julian, hey, nice to see you again. English job interviews looks good on YouTube. Thank you very much. Marie, hey, on LinkedIn, yes. Steffi, hey, nice to see you here. You can see me and see us and hear us. Okay, great. Phyllis, hi Simon, I can hear and see perfectly on LinkedIn. Great, Julie. Hello, Philip. Awesome. Thank you guys for letting us know. Yeah, while we're getting more people to the interview, I want to ask you guys a few questions just to warm up and get prepared. So I know we're gonna have this interview focusing on the growing your business in 2023. So and we have our guest here, Richard. I'm gonna let him speak very soon. So before we get started, I do want to ask one question, right? At least one question to the audience, just get a baseline. So how many of you have started your teaching business? If you have started, let us know in the chat. I just wanted to know how many of you guys have already started your business and looking for further growth, further growing your business in 2023. All right, let me take a look at the comments, right? Amelia, hello from Chicago. Hello, yeah. Don't hesitate to let us know where you are tuning in right now. Aaron from Spain, Lizzie from okay. Hello all from Vernal. Okay, hey, Helena, Laurie. Great to see so many of you here. Yeah, okay. Killing, yes. So my question is, how many of you have started your teaching business online? Just wanted to see the if many of you have done that. Looking for more growth, Lee. Looking for more growth, and Dalen, yes, started. Renee, yes, I have. Rowena from New Mexico. Hey, how are you? Great. Yeah, we got a lot of people from all over the place. It's great, and the number of people watching is going up right now. Oh, someone not able to hear or see anything. Veronica, refresh your browser to see if that helps. Okay. Kaylin, I have a few private classes, but looking to grow my business. That's great. Someone starting my business since COVID. Simon, I have already started, just done the 21 challenge. I'm looking for growth and expansion. Barcelona, Spain. Hey. And David from Venezuela. That's great. India. Awesome, guys. Awesome. Yeah, so I think many of you guys have already started your business. I guess we're gonna focus a lot on how to further grow your business today, and let Richard share his experience. I'll definitely comment on many topics that will be interesting to you. Okay, so I guess we are ready to get started. I don't want Richard to wait for too long there. All right, so today's topic is how to grow your business, grow your teaching business in 2023. Uh, Both me and Richard are gonna share, um, I think, our experience growing our business, our plan to grow it further in 2023. What we're gonna do, I will start with a very brief introduction myself, just in case I'm new to you, where our business is new to you, just to know who we are, what we do, and then I'll pass to Richard, and he's gonna talk about his experience with his business, what's have been going on with his business, his plan, and then we're gonna talk about three things after that. Basic three questions we're gonna answer together. One is one thing we did in 2022 that that helped our business grow. Number two is what we think is important to get for getting consistent results, because I know it's a quite a pain point for many teachers out there who have started a business. They're getting some results but not consistent. So we're going to comment on that in the second question. And then the last question will be, what will we do in 2023 to further grow our business? So we're going to share our plans, so what things we're going to focus on, and that importance, hopefully that can be insightful for you guys to follow and grow your business as well in 2023. Okay. So with further ado, I'll just introduce myself very quickly. My name is James Liu. I started this business helping teachers grow their business, build their business, grow their business online since in 2019. We have helped over 4,000 teachers in the past 4 years. We have group training like 21 Day Challenge. We have one-on-one programs, working with clients more closely to help them get their business going. So it's been going very well for our business. We helped so many teachers in the past year. I will talk a little bit more, and hopefully, if we haven't worked together, we'll be able to work with you on your business to help you. If we have already worked together, hopefully we can work more closely in 2023 to get your business to the next level. Okay, that's all me. Follow me on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn if you haven't. Hopefully, we will be able to help you with your business as well. All right, so that's all from me. That's a lot already. So I'm going to pass to Richard to let him talk about his background and the experience with his business. Hey, Richard, welcome to the interview.
Hey, everyone. Thank you. Thanks, James. And thanks for this time. I appreciate it. Yeah, so I'm in the United States. I've been teaching English since 2019. Sorry, 2009. I've been teaching English since 2009, but I started a language school. I co-founded a language school here in Tennessee in 2018 with some friends, and then began to think a little differently, maybe wanting to do something digital, something that was just my own thing, really in 2021. And so I had seen a lot of James's content and interviews with other teachers that he had gotten results with, who had taken the 21 Day Challenge. And so December 2021, as I was transitioning from my old job, I thought, this, why not? Let's give it a shot. And so my main work over the past year, since I've started my business, has actually been consulting language schools. But I wanted to build a side of my business that was private, one-on-one English coaching and training. So I took the 21 Day Challenge to see what I could learn about building a business like that, and how I could use that to supplement my own consulting business. But the long-term goal was to build something that could stand on its own, could float all of my business, that could potentially become more of my revenue, the private one-on-one coaching. And so my goal was to get 20 students in 2022, and at an average of about $900 an hour for a 10-week program. And I ended up booking 39 students last year. So found a lot of, all of what I learned from the 21 Day Challenge really, really helped me. So it didn't all happen at once. Around between January to June, I got about 8 students. So it was kind of slow getting started. Some of that was just I was busy with the other side of my work, with my consulting. But between July and December, I got 29 students. And so a lot of my effort really in those first months started to get a lot of momentum in the second half of the year. And then starting in August, I began to get an average of 5 to 6 students every month. And it's just continued at that pace, and then started to pick up some more recently. So now I'm charging $1,000 for a 3-on-1 small group. This is my high ticket program And I'm also charging $1,200 a person for one-on-one, just for private. And so right now I have 21 active students, and I'm slowly putting them in 3-on-1 or one-on-one, depending on kind of what they need as they enroll. And yeah, that's really a little bit of an introduction of where I am, and uh, how things are going so far. It's been 1 year, so.
Okay, that's great. That's a lot actually happened in 1 year with your business. I know you had your own business before with the school, and you're doing consulting, and now starting with this new business. I would say the result has been great based on what I'm seeing with most of the teachers who have done the same training and being on the journey with you. I guess one thing you mentioned, I want to kind of emphasize as well. So it all start very slow at first, slow, and that's the period of time most people quit if they don't see the excitement right away. But that's how it is when you start a business. You don't expect a lot of return at the beginning, but once you being consistent, right, get on it. One day you're gonna see the curve bends, right, and then that's the time you're gonna see more results. I'm going to talk a lot because we're going to talk a lot about what you've done in 2022 that allowed you to get, I guess, better results than most teachers who have done the same training and been the journey with you. One thing, just to quickly shift to the next session, next question, right? We both of us going to talk about it. So in 1 year, you got to this level of results, right? Over 30 students, and increase the price to $1,200 a person. So I guess one of the things, maybe one thing, if you have so many things you want to share, let's start with the one thing that you think you did in 2022 that helped you get this type of results. So that
Sure.
would be one thing that you think you want to share with us. What would that be?
Yeah. So I think the most important thing, I've given this a lot of thought. I think the most important thing is figuring out my niche.
Okay.
That's probably been like the top thing, is really making sure I understand their needs and being very convinced that the solution I'm offering is meeting that need in a deep way. And so a lot of that first half of building my student customer base was about really a lot of listening and learning from them. And so before this past year, I had a pretty good idea of, I've been teaching English for a while. And so the niche that I'm working with are advanced students that are in the workplace, that they're feeling this moment where their professional expertise is outpacing their English level, and they're stuck in English, but they're not stuck anywhere else. So advancing through their careers, getting promotions, getting recognition and work, but they're realizing that their spoken English abilities are not up keeping pace with their career. So
Yeah.
my goal was, how can I build a program that helps address this anxiety directly?
Yeah.
And at first I had an idea of what I felt like a program like that could look like. And but over time, it was a matter of just refining, listening, and refining. So nailing the niche, I think, was the most important part. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this came up in our at least one of the previous interview we had. We talk a lot about understanding your niche. So most of our clients, right, they start the business with a new niche or niche, and they narrow it down and specialize themselves into one niche, and then it does take a lot of time. Even if, like you, right, Richard, you've been teaching, you've been working with students for so long, it's still like a learning curve for you to really understand. And it takes time to understand. And sometimes I tell teachers like, no, we spend like 4 years, right, in college. I spent another like 5 years for my PhD. So that's the time you need to spend in order to become an expert. And right, so now you're a niche teacher, you're a niche coach. In order to become an expert in that niche, it does take time to understand, but it wouldn't take like years, couple months focusing on understanding your needs, listening to them, right, refining your understanding of them. that takes time, but that's so necessary at first. I think you made a point here. It's been critical for the success you got in 2022. Okay, so besides this one, like understanding the niche, like be patient, really focus on understanding them. Maybe there's one more thing that you
Mhm.
feel like that helped you with getting better results in 2022. You want to
Yeah.
share with us? Yeah.
The other big thing was mindset. I know I have taken some consulting before I met James and before I did the 21-day challenge. And one thing I was very interested in was how the 21-day challenge will be different. And one thing that it addressed that I hadn't seen before is this aspect of mindset as an entrepreneur. And so I think for me, had I not been committed to a confident and optimistic mindset, then I think I would have given up, because I already had other revenue streams and I already had like some success with this other side of my business. So the mindset was a big deal on the days where I felt, you know, silly making social media content or just working from home alone or whatever, something that would normally like discourage someone. I had to really like um stay committed to that optimism.
Yeah.
That was a big one. And then I think just consistency is the other half of that,
Yeah.
like being consistent and showing up to it. Was Those were the other top two things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great. So being consistent, we're gonna talk about that in a minute, and also the mindset. I guess a lot of teachers gonna resonate with that. We emphasize a lot on mindset in all of our training. It doesn't matter if it's 21 challenge or other training we have, always have a mindset as part of it. Because the way I look at it is, it doesn't matter how great the strategies are, how great the trainings are, the mindset is gonna enable you to take action, to follow and implement whatever you learn, right? So if you're learning but you don't actually take action, then nothing gonna happen, and then you're gonna give up. That's why mindset is so important. So some questions in the chat right now. Yes, the session Felix asked about the if it's recorded, is recorded, and actually gonna you can use the same link to watch the recording if you have to leave early. Okay. And one question for you, Renee asked. So about this, I guess is the $1,000 per student for your 3-to-1 set group, and the 1,200 per student for your one-on-one. How many sessions you actually include to charge that fee? I think that's a question from Renee.
So the program is 10 weeks and we meet on Zoom for 1 hour once a week. So they
Okay.
get the program structure overall is more than that. It's 30 hours, but 10 hours of the 30 hours are meeting with me. So that's 1 hour per week on Zoom each week. But then each week, my students also have 2 hours of work that they're doing in a Google Classroom. And so there's videos, there's instructional content. I use a flipped classroom model. If you're familiar with that. So the instruction is happening in videos and content for homework, and then they do some practice and application, and then we meet for an hour. So that's that's $1,000 a person for 3-on-1, and then 1,200 a person for 1-on-1.
Yeah, yeah. And so the actual teaching time or the time you meet them is 10 hours, 10 hours for that fee. Yeah, and there are, so when you tell your students there are 2 hours per week they have to work on Google Classroom. That's
Yeah.
very clear. Let us know if that answers your question, Renee. So that's what we do. If you're new to our business, when we work with our clients, we always encourage them to put together groups so they don't sell sessions. One session per $100 per session. It's not like that. They always have a group. Our program is we call it program-based teaching. Definitely look into my content. There are so many things, so many content and materials about that. Okay, Renee, yeah, terrific. Thank you. Great. So I'm seeing a lot of other questions. So we'll try to get back to you at the end. If we forget to come back to you about that question, don't hesitate to ask again. Okay. All right. So back to the question asked Richard. What Richard had done in 2022 that got him the success, right? We talk about the first thing is we talk about mindset, right? Mindset is really important. Richard added mindset, and we talk about being consistent, on what you do. And Richard mentioned the niche, like spending time, be patient, understanding your niche. I think these are really good advice for teachers who just started, right? If you start last year or even a year before, you haven't got the same results as Richard has got these three things, right? Spend time, understand your niche, being consistent, and working on mindset. Okay, there are three things, and I want to share a little bit too. Maybe for teachers, for people who have business more further down the road. So if I got to answer this question, what we have done to grow our business in 2022. So just from the results perspective, we actually grow. We are no the 2022. We've got actually 50% more growth in 2022. I would consider a very big improvement in our business, and we got to serve so many more teachers. We actually have much bigger revenue in 2022 as well. So basically, one thing I want to talk about what we have done to grow our business in 2022. That one thing will be I'm very proud that we did it. So we actually reduced our ad spend to 1/5 in 2022, comparing how much we spent on ad spend on ads in 2021. We reduced the ads and focused on much more much more on customer interaction through direct messaging. So that's the one simple strategy we implemented in 2022 that got us so much better results. Reduce the ads and focused more on customer interaction through messaging, through other ways. And because I kind of changed how I look at it. Previously in 2021, 2020, that was like getting more leads, and then the business will grow. And actually in 2022, that's had no I have changed on that. Now I believe every lead counts. So if you cannot make sure every lead that you generate in your business can be taken care of, getting more leads wouldn't help your business as much as you want it. So that's the one thing we realized and we implemented, reducing the ad spend and really focus a lot more on every single lead. People get your business pipeline, get to know you, make sure they know, they are aware of how you can help them, what you do. That made a huge difference in our business. Of course, with other system in place, like CRM, customer relationship management system that help you track all the interaction with your customers. So that's one thing we did that made a huge difference in our business in 2022. Just wanted to comment on that in case you are at a stage where you are growing your business. But if you just start business and you are still struggling, and Richard's advice is going to be super helpful. Implement that right first. So that's one topic we talked about. One thing we did in 2022 that helped us grow our business. Okay, so if you have questions, guys, feel free to leave in the comment, let us know. And if you are enjoying the interview so far, please click on the like button to help us. The more likes we get, the more likely, right? More people are gonna see the interview, gonna watch it online. Please help us with that, okay? So this is the first topic we talk about what we did in 2022 to grow our business. Both of us shared that our messages with you. The next question we want to talk about will be, so as Richard shared, right? When he started the business early last year in 2022, the result wasn't very good at first, kind of getting started, and then the result getting better. And in the past few months, he's been consistently getting 5 even more students every month to reach his goals. And if you have started your business, you're gonna appreciate this more. Like being consistent, like getting consistent results has been a very big pain point for many teachers. Many teachers in our community as well, they are getting results. Like it's not that hard. It's not that hard to get 1 student, 2 students, but in order to get 2, 3, 4, 5 students, even more than that, every single month, that is super hard if you don't do it correctly. And that's what I'm hearing a lot of teachers struggling with that. And we want to spend a little more time here to talk about it. What's going to help you? How you can get more consistent results, right? So I'll ask Richard to come on that because he's doing it. He's getting the consistent results. So Richard, can you share what you think the things you've done in 2022 that helped you get consistent results? You can share a little bit with us.
Sure. Yeah. So really this past year, the thing that I think began to make the biggest difference was consistency in the spaces where I interact with my niche.
Yeah.
And so Instagram is my biggest platform. It's where I have the biggest profile compared to like LinkedIn or YouTube or anything. And I started to find that for my niche and the kinds of problems that they have, Instagram was a very useful platform for me. And so I basically just dedicated as much time as I could every week to make sure that I was posting content that was directly addressing that niche's needs. And at first, the growth was kind of slow. And so I want to say between January and June, actually, when I had those first 8 students or so, it was I had less than 4,000 followers on Instagram, but I was starting to get more and more business because my interactions through social media were um, proving to be like I was getting response from people who were saying like, "Oh, I feel like you're reading my mind. Like this is exactly what I need. It's exactly what I'm looking for." And then in around, I guess it was September, October, a few of my posts went viral, and then my account began to grow rapidly, like way, way faster than I expected. My kind of reach goal was to get 10,000 followers on Instagram by the end of last year. I have almost 600,000. so
It's unbelievable.
so it's kind of ridiculous how fast it grew, but I'm convinced that the early listening that I did to my niche in those slow months, I'm convinced that that is the reason why everything is where it is now.
Yeah.
Um, and then, yeah, so I think it's really for me, it's been a combination of who is my niche, what are their pain points, how can I offer solutions to those, and I think the other thing is I was using the that language back to my niche instead of just teaching grammar or
Yeah.
vocabulary.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's more the what, not so much the why.
Yeah.
And so a lot of how I orient all of my messaging and it's really about like, why are we here? Why are we trying to
Yeah.
solve these problems? Like,
Yeah.
what's the
Yeah.
goal?
Yeah.
And then just consistently delivering content to that. And then the social media algorithms are designed to recognize when that's really hitting, and they will reward your efforts
Yeah.
if that
Mm.
makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's still back, get back to the listening part, right? The preparation in the first few months. And be patient, listen to your audience. I guess maybe I think teachers are gonna find it really helpful, Richard, if you can tell us a couple of things that you do, like when you listen, like maybe more specifically, like tangible. So what you do exactly when you try to listen to your audience, how do you do that?
Mm-hmm. So you all are, I'm sure, having strategy sessions, trying to book strategy
Yeah,
sessions. So the
that's it.
first thing that I do after just kind of giving an agenda and introducing myself in a strategy session is I ask 5 or 6 questions. Where are you mostly using English? What are the problems you're facing? How have you tried to
Yeah,
solve these
yeah,
problems? And then I try to take as in-depth of notes as possible as I'm listening, or I'll record the session with my phone or something like that, just to really make sure I can come back and hear it again. And then in that moment, I make sure to not, it's tricky because I also want to sell and I want to get a new student in the strategy session. And so I have things to say, but I have to be very careful to not talk or not wait for a chance to talk, but instead make sure that I can summarize back to my students what they're saying. So, for example,
yeah,
my strategy sessions are usually like, why are you using English? What are the problems you're facing? My niche are, again, professionals who are mostly living in North America, who are in English speaking environments at work, and their professional expertise has outpaced their English level. So they're getting a lot of demands in their careers, but their English can't keep up. So I hear things from my niche like, I'm a business analyst at Amazon and I'm getting promoted, but I don't want to take the opportunity because I don't have the confidence that I can use spoken English in a way that reflects my professionalism. And so then my next question is, how does that affect your life? How does that make you feel? And so then we're getting to the deeper, more emotional problems for my niche. For them, they feel frustrated, they feel stuck, they feel like this is a dead end. They feel like they've reached the end of their career, like because they've reached the end of their English. And so then my question to them is, so then what is the level of English that you want? What are you dreaming to be at? And then how will your life change if you could get there? And so I frame everything with them from that foundational point. It's not about like, oh, what grammar do you have problems with, or what vocabulary is difficult for you? It's not about the language itself. It's about the effect that not having the language has on their lives.
Exactly.
And then I make sure that they understand that I understand. So that's the other big piece is I'm looking for them when I summarize back to them what they've told me. I'm wanting to hear them tell me that's right. That's right. That's exactly right. So I summarize it back for them in terms of you're trying to gain greater confidence, reach your goals and your dreams. You want to make more money. Like these are the things that you're going for.
Yeah.
Most English programs don't solve these problems. So how can we solve these problems?
Yeah. So just no, based on what you just told me, I guess you're not doing anything different from other people, right? So following the same training, the same script, I can even hear the script we share with you. Again, but three things you did much better than most people. One is the question is not about the English, the language, is about how that affects them, like, right? So that's what you're trying to get out of. A lot of people just, oh, how do you use English? Okay, sure, let's move on. It's like you have to build up, why they're here, how, not getting a better English affecting them. So these are you better really like listen and dig in, like let people express themselves that way. Number one. Number two is summarize. I like the technique. So always summarize, what you've learned, and let people comment if there's anything I'm missing here, and also summarize. Summarizing it also help you making sure they know you understand, which is the third point I want to make. So people want to work with people want to work with teachers who actually understand them. But people want to work with coaches who understand them. When they believe that you understand them, they trust you, right? So that's very important. Three things you mentioned there. But no, we're not here to talk about sales. But what you're trying to tell us here, Richard, is ask you the question: what a practical thing like you do when you try to learn from your niche. I guess your answer is through strategy sessions, through the sales calls, right? And also, I believe that too, because that's where you can get the best information from your niche, right? You're talking to them, right? You're speaking with them, you're asking questions. Whatever they say, that's gonna help you understand them better. So I guess a lot of teachers they don't take notes, they don't listen, they don't summarize. Then they just do stress sessions one at a time. No, just for the stress session, they never use it to learn from the niche. I guess, in other words, man, right now you did it, but if you look back, so in the first 6 months, you're basically just doing research on your niche, get yourself ready for the growth, right? If you look back, that's exactly what you did during the stress sessions and understand them, and that give you everything you need to take your business to the next level in the second half of the year last year. So I think that's really tells people how important, right, using the stress sessions or any other ways to learn from your niche, understand them, and that will get you the results you want. That's great. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So that's how you feel like most important thing for you to get consistent results. Of course, you mentioned that being more consistent with whatever you do, right? Posting. You didn't get discouraged. You didn't stop when you're not getting many followers on Instagram or many followers on LinkedIn. You keep doing it, but in a better way, because you are learning from your niche every single day. They help you improve your content, make it more resonating with your niche, right?
Right.
So that's all it takes together. And sometimes people get really like overwhelmed. They were like, why I'm not getting consistent results? And then I talk to them, and it's always they're not being consistent with themselves. So
Mm.
if you're not consistent with your business, you're not consistently doing what you need to do every single day, why do you even expect to get consistent results?
Mhm.
Right? It's just like that simple. I mean, now people, a lot of people listen to you, right, Richard, they're gonna feel like, yeah, Richard's not doing something like very special. It's like there's a secret thing you do and nobody else doing it. It's not. It's just being consistent and doing the right thing, right? Did that what you do? You agree with me on that,
Yeah,
Richard?
I mean, a lot of what I did was just exactly what the 21-day challenge said to do. I just did it every day. And so, um, yeah,
Yes.
and I think another thing for me was that I didn't have like because I had some other revenue with my consulting work, I didn't have this pressure to land a bunch of students immediately to pay the bills.
Yeah.
And so that was something that was just like it took some of the pressure off for me
Mm.
to like really figure this out. Um so it's a everyone has to approach this differently, but that was just another thing that was
Yeah.
helpful.
That,
Yeah.
that's a good point too. Some teachers, unfortunately, they are more pressured by by their financial situation.
Right.
They lost the goals, right? So in the first few months, your goals is not to make as much money as possible. Of course, you want that, but in the first few months, you need to like calm down. You need to be more analytical. You need to look at the data. You need to really listen. But they're
Mhm.
not listening. They're trying to push their business out, try to get as many clients as possible. Then they forget to listen. They forget to improve, to adjust, and then they will always get mediocre results because they never improved, they never change, adjust. I think that's a good point. So for teachers who are under some pressure right now, I guess finding a part-time job, getting something else going on to help you with your business so you can be more patient with your business, so you can actually spend time listening, right? Not pushing your
Right.
business and not just focus on making sales, right? That helps a lot.
Right.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess if you guys have questions, I know it's been a very hot topic in our community, how to get consistent results. I guess there's like a no miracles formula. We just share you, okay, do ABC, you will get consistent results. I guess the answer just being consistent with
Mhm.
what you're supposed to do. And right. So before Richard getting this type of results, right, we didn't give Richard any actual to get to reach there. It's just like following what we already shared with you, what I have already told you, to being consistent, right, working on your business. So there's a question, a side question, but I think it's very important. Maybe let people understand this better. So there's a question from Clark. With 39 students, all the other work you do to keep your business going, how many hours a week do you need to dedicate to, I think, this teaching business in specific?
Yeah. It's a great question. So I've tried to be pretty methodical, Clark, where because I have a newborn baby too. So I'm trying to make sure that I can balance everything, and it's hard. I probably spend 50 to 60 hours a week working. But my long-term goal is not to work that much. My long-term goal is to work a third of that. But my definitely it's a hustle. It takes some grit and some hustle in the beginning, because you're definitely building something. You'll
Yeah.
have to have that like long-term vision of what, think about where do you want to be next Christmas? Like what kind of lifestyle or schedule or money or whatever. So for me, I started with about 20 to 30 hours a week worth of consulting. And then I gave myself about 10 to 20 hours a week to sort of incubate this private one-on-one coaching business. So the consulting was sort of floating me, paying the bills, and then I was taking the rest of that time as much as I could. So now, yeah, I'm probably spending about 50 hours a week on just this, but this next year, I'm wanting to implement some systems, get my operations automated, get
Yeah.
things all connected and talking, and maybe hire some help so that it's not all just me booking students, putting them in courses, taking payments, designing curriculum. So
Yeah,
not the
absolutely,
long goal.
absolutely, and that's what we're gonna working on together in 2023, and we're gonna talk about the next step. End of the day, right? You want to work less and earn more, still make bigger impact on your students, and there are ways to do that. So, so based on according to what we have learned from working with so many teachers, there are different way of growing your business, right? We've seen teachers spending 50, 60 hours on their business. Of course, they grow much faster on their business. And if they are doing the right thing, right? Just like Richard and many other teachers we helped and also interviewed before, they spend more time and they grow their business to a very good level just within a year. We also have clients who can only spend 10 hours a week. So because they have a full-time job, right? They have to work on their business on the side, and they can still make it work, but not as soon as other teachers who can spend more time on the business. But they're always possible for you to do that too. So what you do when you have 50 hours going to be different from what you do when you only have 10 hours. But one thing is the same: being consistent. Whatever what you do, being consistent on it, and make the transition as you grow. Right? You have a full-time job, right? You spend 10 hours, but at one point you can get not 5, 6 students every month, but just 1, 2 students every month. You can shift a little bit more time to your business. But once you get to a next level, like 5, 6 students every month, so $5,000-$6,000 a month, of course you can even quit your full-time job. Right? There's always a transitioning, but one thing, as we mentioned, don't want to give yourself too much financial pressure at first. Don't just quit your job right away, then spend 50 hours. Yes, you can do that if you you have some savings. Make sure that you can actually get things going. But if you don't, right, always have something going on, and even spending like 10 hours a week, that's doable to make this work, right? I have so many teachers that have full-time job on the side, they can still make it work, then they quit their job after a year.
That's basically what I did. Yeah. That up until June, where I only had about 8 students, I was only giving about 10 hours a week, 10, 15 hours a week. But then now it's the majority of my work has become this private coaching business. And so it's just kind of flipped, the consulting and the coaching.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we're going to quickly move on. We have one more question to answer. I think it's a very important one. So we talk about what we did in 2022 to grow, and we talk about what are things you need to do to be consistent. And the answer is very simple: be consistent. Be consistent with whatever you do yourself first. Then you expect a consistent results, right? So that's the number 2. Number 3, we want to talk about is what will we do in 2022, 2023 to further grow our business. I'll let Richard start with that. What are the things you're going to do in 2023, Richard, to further grow your business?
Yeah. The first thing for me is just focus. I don't want to lose the consistency. It's tempting now to be like, okay, I have all these followers. I can, relax on posting content, or I can relax on engaging with my DMs to try to build prospects and leads. But I'm trying to just consistently stay in my lane, keep refining my course, keep listening, actually. The other aspect of this for me, of course, James is helping me now to build a digital course to help me build some passive income. And so my operations is a piece of this. I want to automate as much as I can to get my systems to be very smooth, my CRM. But otherwise, it's a lot about focus for me this year and hitting some of these goals. So that's the big thing.
Yeah, that's great. So I guess focusing does not contradict with expanding. Okay, these 2 concepts don't contradict with each other. Okay, so expanding does not mean that you're gonna do more things. You're gonna be spread 2 things. Not expanding is oftentimes, to me, expanding or growing is to shift focus
Mhm.
It's not like, instead of focusing on one thing to grow a business, now I have to focus on 10 things to expand my business. It's not. It's just focusing on different things. And what you need to do to get your first clients going to be different from what you need to do to get 2 to 3 clients every month. And what you do to get 2 to 3 clients every month going to be different from what you do to get 10K every month. So you guys have to understand, right? There are strategies to start a business. There are strategies to scale your business. And what Richard gonna do is to focus on shift from focusing on this strategy to that strategy because his goal has changed. Now I'm scaling. I want to work less and make more passive income and reach another income and a revenue goal in 2023. So these two concepts don't contradict each other. I don't want to explain that because people might feel like, okay, how can I expand if I need to focus? It's always focusing is super important because there's so much noise out there that people are gonna ask you to do this, do that. You have to really understand, okay, is this the thing, like one thing I need to do to reach my goal this year, right? If it's not, let's hold on to it, right? Not to think about it. Let's focus on what I need to do to get to my business goal this year, right? So is that right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's a matter of like, right, where do I want to be in a year or in 2 years? Well, I like working privately. I don't want to take on, for example, huge corporate clients. So if those opportunities come my way, then for me to keep focus is about how can maybe I don't even take on that client, or the way I take them on just fits in with where I'm trying to go with my business. So that's kind of what I mean. Like paid partnerships. I've
Yeah.
had a company approach me about doing a paid partnership. That's what they wanted me to promote doesn't really fit with the focus I'm trying to have and where I'm going. So that's kind of what I mean by like just keeping focus on the scaling that I need to do this year. And not stretching myself too thin. Guarding my capacity, that's another thing this year, making sure I don't burn out
Yeah.
because I've done that before. So,
Absolutely. Yeah, we can easily get burnouts. And most business fail at the beginning, right? And then the second part is a lot of business actually fails when they grow, and there's a growth pain over there, and out of control. So that's why it's important to get focused. So I like what you said there, Richard. So for those of you who are interested in what we're gonna do in 2023 to further grow our business, I wanted to very quickly talk about that. One thing we're gonna do is to actually implement more systems in our business to help us improve service quality. So that's one of my concerns as we expand. The quality we're providing to our clients will be affected. Now, I think you're gonna have the same feeling, Richard. When you work with one client, you can make sure that the client got the best results, right? Because you have so much time for them. But when you get 10 clients, when you work with 20 clients at the same time, it's hard, right? It's hard to maintain the same quality, and that's one thing we're gonna implement in 2023 to have a system in place to make sure while we're expanding, we have more people on the team to help us with the business. We can ensure the same quality of services. But because at the end of the day, right, if you cannot deliver, your business is gonna fail. So it's not about your marketing or sales. It's really about the results you're getting at the end, right? So that to be more sustainable with your business, that's one thing we're gonna do, and you guys are gonna see more improvement implementation like we do in 2023 to help our programs. So this is the last question. We do have 10 minutes left. If you guys have questions for us, right, we talk about 3 things what we did in 2022 to help us grow. How can we become? How do we do? What do we think is important to be consistent, getting consistent results, and what we're gonna do in 2023. So if you guys have any questions, let us know in the chat. We're gonna definitely get back to you. And if you have enjoyed the interview so far, don't forget to click on the like button to help us promote the live session online to let more people see it and watch it and get help with the interview. So while you guys are putting down your question, I'm gonna ask Richard to comment on 2 more things, right? So you started your business, your teaching business in early 2022. So what would you say, Richard, what would you say to people who want to start a business in 2023 but haven't started? What would you say to them?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good question too.
So think about maybe you think about you in 2021, that what would you want to hear at that time, when you were like trying to decide what you're gonna
Yeah.
do? What would you say to yourself or people who haven't started a business?
I had some students tell me, this was 2000, this was 2021. I had some students tell me, you should make content online. You'll do great. It'll, and at the time I wasn't really interested in making content. And, but listening to them and realizing, like, I kept hearing that from students. And so I think the mindset is really like the biggest thing. If you don't believe that you can do this, then you won't do it. But if you believe that you have something valuable to offer people who need your help with English, and like you really deep down believe that, then you will do it. It's and there's actually research in motivation psychology on this topic with mindset of um, researchers have basically seen there's two kinds of groups with mindset. There's limited and unlimited mindsets. And so if you believe that, you know, there, for whatever reason, that you can't do this, then and the way that I helped keep my mindset in front of me is I remembered my best English courses or my best students who told me how much I meant to them, or told me how much the program had helped them, or how much, English had really changed their lives from the past. I always tried to keep those people in front of me. So if that's like, you print out a picture of your star students and you put them on your wall in your office or whatever it is to remind you, like what we do for our students is so incredibly valuable. I mean, this is part of James's story, is that as a specialist English teacher, you're changing a person's life, giving them an English program that can help them, right, live in the US, move up in their career. So if you doubt that you're worth $90 an hour, $100 an hour, or whatever, then you won't sell, and you won't make that money. You won't get that student. But if you do believe authentically that you're worth that and that you can do that, all you need is time and perseverance, then you will absolutely reach the goal. So I think I just can't underestimate mindset, really what you believe about this. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, I can't emphasize enough on the mindset as well. And you need to change yourself first before you can get the results you want. It's not like, okay, I will become a millionaire, then I will have a mindset of millionaire mindset. It's not. You have to have the mindset millionaires have, then you can become a millionaire. Okay, remember, guys, if you want to charge $100 an hour, you want to make $5,000 a month, you need to become that person first before you can get that type of results. Okay, it's super important for you guys to remember that. And let's take a look at some questions, Richard. Let me see if you can see some questions. If you want to answer, let me know. Maybe one question very quickly here. Would you have found to be most attractive class lengths for potential purchase initially? So I can talk about that first. So whatever I say is based on the fact that you're doing program-based teaching, right? If you're talking about session bundles, that's totally different, okay? So for program-based teaching, our best practice is around 10 sessions. We've seen people have success with 8 sessions to 12 weeks, 8 to 12. That's when you do one-on-one. So when you do other things like online courses, if you do a hybrid version, that's a different story. But if you do one-on-one and with a program-based teaching, our recommendation is around 10, between 2 to 12. That's give you a really good sweet spot to sell, to deliver. You can always have a second program. If you have a really long, you can just turn them into 2, and you can upsell the second one. So what do you think, Richard?
Yeah, I think that has made sense. I mean, I've worked also at language schools that do 8-week sessions and 10-week sessions. I think beyond that, you can lose momentum. But it was, 8 weeks or 10 weeks is a good starting point. It's a good place to land. as long as you always keep a success orientation in the program. So what I mean is it needs to the student needs to always feel that sense of progress and success with each unit, so that there's a sense of like momentum. It's still challenging. It should be challenging, but there should be a sense of like, I can succeed and I will succeed. 8 to 10 weeks is great.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks for that. And some people asking about 21 challenge. Yeah, we talk a lot about 21 challenge. If you are new to this, you don't even know what 21 challenge is. I'm gonna share the link with you, and that's what got Richard started with the journey and get to where he is in 1 year. So if you haven't done 21 challenge, I'll definitely recommend that you can look into it. And the next round starts on February 1st. We start one round every month on the first day of each month. And you're gonna join before that. You don't have to wait until the first of the month. That's the day we start that group, and it lasts 21 days. We're gonna help you with your niche, with your program structure, with your marketing, with the sales, and the mindset, the vision, all things packed into this 21-day challenge training. So I'm gonna share the link with you guys. So with this link, you're gonna get a 35% discount. The full price is $197. With this link, you're gonna be able to join the 21 challenge at $127. And one more thing I want to tell you guys, which is very special for the February group. If you're thinking about joining it, you're not sure if you're gonna join the February group, I'll give you one reason to join it. Actually, in February group, we're gonna do a very special bonus. We're gonna give everyone who joined the February group an actual Instagram training. Okay, because we talk a lot about this today. Richard has been getting a lot of success on Instagram, and we are focused on Instagram as well. Besides LinkedIn, LinkedIn is still a great place, and we focus a lot on Instagram, on TikTok nowadays. So we're gonna give everyone who joined the February challenge, 2023 February challenge group, an actual Instagram training. That training is like 40 minutes, get you started on Instagram. Okay, so if you don't know when you're gonna join, I hope this is a good reason for you to join the challenge in February group. I send the link. You're gonna get 35% discounts and join the challenge at $127 only. Okay, so the next round starts on the 1st of February, which is a week from now. Okay, so yeah, if you have questions about 21 challenge, let me know too.
James, could you put my Instagram handle in there too? There's a few people asking for that. Yeah, big.
Okay, so I'm gonna find Richard's link, but for this question, James will be teaching. Will you be teaching us and be part of the group for the? Yeah, I'm involved in 21 challenge, so answering questions and help you guys. I also have my team there too to help you. So it's a very interactive, active group. No, it's in the Facebook. You can watch videos, and we have Q&As. You can ask questions in the group. It's very interactive. Okay, so let me find Richard. If you guys have more questions for Richard, let me know. Put it in the chat. I'm gonna help you answer that, and I can find Richard Instagram.
Yeah, bigworld.english. You'll find it on Instagram.
We can get a lot of teacher followers now.
Yeah, be great.
Okay, I'll find that and share with you guys. Okay, did I miss any questions here? Yeah, this one. So I'm focusing on creating my signature program and sometime on social media. So I should focus to more on social media and to keep building my foundation. So what do you think, Richard?
I would do both. I would do both at the same time. They need to inform each other. The social media, you'll see through interactions and things what kind of content is speaking to the niche very well. And then you take that insight and then you improve your program. And then you improve your program, you get better results. You use content from your program to make for social media, and it should be a cycle, like informing each other. So I would do both. And James, I don't know if you would say something different.
Yeah, I think depending on where you are, if you are already getting a lot of students and you try to improve both, I think what Richard said definitely makes sense. But if you haven't started yet, no, you don't even have one student, I will actually focus more getting yourself out there so you can actually learn from your students. So don't make your program just based on what you think, like your imagination. It's not going to work. You have to get yourself out there, get people to talk to you, and learn from your niche. Because after you talk to maybe 3 people from your niche, the way you look at your program will be very different, right? Don't spend time on the program before even getting 1 student. I wouldn't think that's the best use of your time. They're right, Richard? So yeah. And that's what you did, right? You didn't have a program before you got your first student, or you had one?
No, I didn't. I just had a framework that I got from the 21-day challenge that was more or less like a syllabus kind of schedule of objectives and things. But otherwise, yeah, I didn't. I just built it as I taught.
Absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, I know we are at the hour right now, top of the hour right now. So we talked a couple of things, 3 things we mentioned in the interview, what we did in 2022 to grow the business, how can you be more consistent, and what we're gonna do in 2023. I hope it's been helpful. And for those of you who haven't done the 21 challenge, I shared the link with you guys. You get 35% discount and a reason to join the Fabric group is that we're actually going to share the Instagram training with everyone as actual. No, we don't cover Instagram in the 21 challenge right now. We're going to share the 21 challenge training with everyone who's going to join the Fabric group. That's just one of the reasons for you guys to join and do it. And if you have already grown your business to a level where you want to scale, definitely reach out to us as well. Just like what we did with what we are doing with Richard right now, helping you with the digital course, making passive income, and scale your business even more in 2023. Reach out to us, and happy to talk to you and see how we can work together to scale your business. But if you haven't started, do the 21 challenge, okay, and get started from there, and you will get pretty good results very quickly. All right, so I think I don't see any other questions. Yeah, there's one more question actually I missed. Yeah, maybe let's answer that quickly, Phyllis.
Sure.
What's your personal story? And yeah, just very quickly, I shared Richard's Instagram account with you guys. Find it there and follow him. Yep.
Yeah, Phyllis, you can also connect with me on LinkedIn, and you can see a lot of this in detail. But basically, I taught overseas in 2009, and then I got an undergraduate degree and a master's in teaching English as a second language. I taught at the University of Memphis for 7 years, and then I co-founded a brick and mortar language school in Tennessee, and then went from there to doing this digitally. So I've been teaching for about 13 years, master's in teaching English. So yeah, that's like in brief, but connect with me on LinkedIn, and you can see more detail.
Yeah, absolutely. Follow Richard. Just get inspired by what he does. And I hope you guys all can grow your business even further in 2023 or start your business in 2023. If you think we can help you, definitely reach out and follow us on social media. I hope we can work together in 2023 to help you guys reach your goals. Yeah, I think that's it for today. Richard, you happy? You have any other things you want to share, or before we wrap up?
That you can do it. That's it. I mean, you can do it. Think about your best ESL, EFL students. Keep them in your vision and go for it. You can do it.
Yeah, and also think about me. I'm a good example, right? The impact you can make on your students, and you definitely worth much more to do that. Okay, don't lose the faith, right? Keep being consistent on your business, and let's get this done in 2023. Okay, thank you guys very much for spending time with us today. If you miss any part of this interview, you can definitely watch a recording with the same link. We do this teacher entrepreneur interview almost every month. I'll let you guys know when we have a next one scheduled. I hope to see you guys again at the interview next month. All right, stay healthy and safe. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks you very much as well, Richard, for your time today.
You're welcome. Thank you.
See you. Take care, guys. Bye. Bye-bye.